Sit right back. Hello and welcome to the first instalment of Upstart Football Weekly. I'm Shane Palmer and we'll be posting weekly match previews for the Barclays Premier League as we follow who will be crowned champions of England. My co-host is the enigmatic Jake D'Amato. How are we, Jake?
Very good, thanks, Shane, mate. Very happy to be here.
First up, we see Fulham hosting Swansea at Craven Cottage. Fulham were beaten by a miraculous last-minute goal by Aston Villa last week when Andreas Weimann bundled Schwartz's rebound off his knee at the weekend.
Swansea, on the other hand, had a fantastic win over title contender Man City last week. Luke Moore's header proved the difference in the dying minutes. Swansea had played very good football this year, especially at home, but a trip to Craven Cottage is not an easy one, mate.
Especially if you're the Wolves.
Mate, I'm going to stop you there. I know I'm wearing a Blackburn shirt, but I'm a Wolves man, and you get one. That was your one.
I think a draw is on the cards here, 2 apiece.
Fulham for the win for me.
Next up, West Brom travelled to Lancashire to take on Wigan Athletic. West Brom have had a decent season under Roy Hodgson this year. The manager himself has already won as many away games in 12 months at Albion, 8, as he did in 3 years at both Liverpool and Fulham combined. While they went down 2-0 at Old Trafford last week, I can see them getting past the bottom place Wigan, who did manage a somewhat lucky point at Norwich last week. Jake?
Well, personally, I think it's slightly amazing that Roberto Martinez is still the Wigan manager. And I think that West Brom will be able to notch up another away win this weekend.
I'm going to agree with you there. West Brom to win. A massive one next week as Wolverhampton Wanderers play host to league leaders Manchester United at the Molineux. United, a point above City, want maximum points from every upcoming match in order to claim their 20th title and keep their crosstown rivals at bay. Rio Ferdinand recently described every match in the run-in as a cup final of its own.
Whereas the Wolves, on the other hand, were humbled by Blackburn at home and are desperate to get points and avoid relegation. I think the Wolves can pull this off though, mate. I think we can steal a win this week.
The form of Rooney and Young combined with the calm veteran heads of Giggs and Scholes will be too much for the Wolves, Jake. United to win 2-0.
All right, mate. Whatever you reckon. Then to finish the weekend, Newcastle play Norwich. Newcastle surrendered a 1-0 lead at the Emirates last Wednesday and will hope to turn their fortunes around against the Canaries. Keeper Tim Krul played well against Arsenal and has been solid between the sticks for the Magpies all season.
Norwich have been unlucky to drop 2 points at home to Wigan last week and continue to have a strong first season in the Premier League. I think they'll come away with a draw at St James Park, 1-1.
1-1. All right. I reckon Newcastle outclass the Canaries, mate, and finish with a win. We've got a special guest on the show this week. We're lucky enough to be able to speak to Darren, our man in Birmingham. How are we, Darren?
All right, mate.
Darren, Villa have had a pretty lucky win last week when Weimann scored very late with his knee.
Yeah, it's a great game, really. Weimann did great to score, tapping in a rebound of Schwarzer. Honestly, thought those German keepers are meant to be a bit stronger than that.
Schwartz's Australian, mate.
Oh, is he really? Well, I never. Those Australians are good at dropping things, like the Ashes last year.
Yeah, speaking of Australians, it's been reported that Socceroo Brett Holman has signed for Villa. What's your feeling on that?
Oh, well, it's always a bit of alright to sign a decent international player like this, and hopefully Holman goes alright. Wingers are always handy, especially after lost Stuart Downing last year.
Well, before we run out of time, what's your prediction for the Villa-Bolton game?
Well, Bolton are a bit of rubbish, really, aren't they? I think Villa will win 2-1.
I'll agree with you on that one, mate. Villa to win. And thank you, Darren.
Alright, mate.
And now to Ewood Park, where Salad dwellers Blackburn host Sunderland. The Rovers, behind 2 strikes from Junior Hoylett last week, snatched a win against the Wolves. Sunderland managed to continue Liverpool's post-Carling Cup woes after Nicholas Bentner's goal and them a 1-0 win last weekend. And I think Sunderland will win here.
Blackburn haven't really played top-flight standard football this season, and the miserable Steve Keane and Venky's error is going to continue to drag them down, even though they did manage a win last week. Bentner to continue his post-injury form, Sunderland to win 3-1.
Stoke travel to White Hart Lane and meet Tottenham. The Spurs have stuttered in recent weeks after successive losses to Arsenal, Man United and Everton. Stoke lost last week to Chelsea, courtesy of Didier Drogba managing to stand up inside the box and finish a chance.
For once.
I can see the Spurs getting back on their winning ways this week, mate.
Spurs,
watch the cheap shots.
Spurs should finally turn things around this week after what has been a tough last 3 matches. They'll win 2-0. Next sees QPR host the up-and-down Liverpool. Reds manager Kenny Dalglish recently stated that kit deals and money are as important. Kit deals and money are as important as points, the latter of which Liverpool have struggled with recently, following their Carling Cup win over Cardiff.
Yet they managed to dominate Everton during the week. A Gerrard hat-trick paving the way. Liverpool for the win.
I think you're right. QPR are a bit of a rabble this year. Liverpool to get the 3 points.
And arguably the biggest match of the round sees Chelsea travel to Etihad Stadium in Manchester. Chelsea notched up a first win under Roberto Di Matteo last week, while City had a massive stutter in their title chase, going down 1-0 to Swansea.
Chelsea is still in major transition this season, and the early departure of Andre Villas-Boas, not after one season, is going to crowd the rest of their year. Not after one season is going to crowd the rest of their year. While they are only 3 points off Arsenal, the West London club will be very lucky to finish in the Champions League for next season. Conversely, City had a very astute manager in Roberto Mancini, who is rumoured to be recalling Carlos Tevez, who scored in the reserve match last week. City to win 1-0.
Yeah, I think City will be too good for Chelsea this weekend. City 2-1.
And to cap off the round's matches, Everton host Arsenal. Goodison Park has seen some amazing unexpected wins from the Toffees, claiming the scalps of Chelsea, Man City and Tottenham this year. Yet Arsenal's late resurgence is causing a major stir.
Well, Van the Man, RVP, scores when he wants, and he's a strong favourite for player of the season, while Thomas Rosicky is also in good form, finally helping to fill the huge hole left by Cesc Fabregas at the start of the season. Arsenal will be too good for Everton, especially after a 3-0 whitewash at Anfield during the week.
I think Everton might have used up all their luck this year, and Arsenal, they're going to really close that gap on the Spurs. 2 under the Gunners. And we're just about to run out of time, but before we go, a quick look at the current table standings. Manchester United sit 1 point ahead of their crosstown rivals Manchester City atop the table, while Tottenham, Arsenal, Chelsea and Newcastle all vie for the Champions League spots.
And at the opposite end of the table, Blackburn, Bolton, QPR, Wolves and Wigan are all battling to avoid relegation.
That's all we have this week. Many thanks, Jake.
No worries, Shane.
Until next week, thanks and goodbye.